Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I am Kayode Adebayo. Former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo has expressed worries over high cost of diesel, saying the development has adverse effect on his fish business. He spoke at his residence in Abeokuta during a Congress of the Southwest Fish Farmers Price Sustainability Group, noting that fish farmers in the country might run out of business due to daily increase in the prices of fish feeds and cost of diesel. He added that the current price of diesel at 800 naira per liter production of a kilogram of fish is 1,400 naira. In order to make very marginal profit, farmers can't sell less than 1,500 naira, as anything short of that amounts to outright loss. The decision of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, to extend its strike by another 1 month has been described as the height of insensitivity by both the ASU and the federal government. Some educationists who spoke in separate interviews with OSBC News said the future of Nigeria will remain bleak if urgent steps are not taken to end the strike. OSBC News reporter Oluchi Amuda has the details.
When the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, in February this year announced its decision to embark on a one strike to press on its demand for the federal government to honor the agreement signed with the union since 2009, no one knew that industrial action would drag for so long. However, it has been over 5 months now, and an end to the crisis between the union and the federal government does not seem to be in sight. The university lecturers said the Nigerian government has not shown commitment toward resolving the lingering crisis and said the additional 4 weeks will be observed to monitor the government's seriousness and commitment to address its concerns. Reacting to the latest development, a retired permanent secretary, Mr. Kola Buhari, described the lingering crisis in the education sector as unfortunate. He said the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, ought to have reached a compromise and stop jeopardizing the future of Nigeria.
They should have done something long before now. Even if they cannot meet the demands of these lecturers, they should have called them long before now so that they talk about it, they communicate, they discuss, they give, they take, so that if you want 10 naira and I don't have it and I have just 2 naira, there's a way I call you to let you understand that for now, this 2 naira, let's do it. And that is where you now set your priorities out of items you want to use the money for. And you see which one is the most important, then you buy them. Lecturers themselves, if they had started with what I would call a wholesale assessment of their needs, and then they go with it to the government, I think it would have been better and the problem would have been solved better than what we are expressing for now.
Speaking in the same vein, a lecturer of anatomy at the Osun State University, Osogbo, Mr. Benjamin Adebisi, attributed the lingering industrial action to insensitivity on the part of the federal government and ASU, born out of selfish interest and not the interest of the students. He maintained that some individuals are benefiting from the crisis to the detriment of the future of Nigerian youth, warning that such could lead to dire consequences.
We have several private institutions in the country. These private institutions are owned by professors that are or were government universities teachers. And now you won't be comfortable if your kid is going to stay home for a whole year. So now you are generating income for this private institution, for those people that don't have much money to send their kids overseas.
It will be recalled that ASU declared a nationwide strike on February 14 over issues of poor welfare condition, failure to renegotiate earlier agreements signed, and the alleged imposition of IPPIS by the government. Due to what it termed failure of the government to heed its request, the union has consistently announced extension of the industrial action, grounding academic activities across the country's public universities. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Labor and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, has explained that his ministry adopted voluntary conciliation for the resolution of the strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities instead of arbitration in order not to delay the resolution process. Ngige disclosed this while answering questions from journalists at the joint workshop on international labor standards and dispute resolutions organized by the Industrial Arbitration Panel in collaboration with the International Labour Organization in Abuja. The minister said he could have transmitted the matter to the IAP or the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, but used his discretion to weigh the situation to know if it will cause more delay in the resolution of the dispute in a court process. He recalled that ASU embarked on strike on February 14, adding that he started voluntary conciliation on February 22 and subsequently on March 1. According to him, by the second meeting, most of the issues arising from the 2020 Memorandum of Action signed between ASU and the Ministry of Education with other government agencies involved were conciliated, leaving out only two. He said the Ministry of Education was still handling the matter because he transmitted it back to them. Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has backed the 6 weeks ultimatum given to President Muhammadu Buhari by some federal lawmakers to find a lasting solution to terrorism or be impeached. Soyinka spoke on this in Abeokuta, Ogun State during an interactive session organized to celebrate the 58th anniversary of Abeokuta Club. Reports say that the senators and members of the House of Representatives elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party had last week handed down the ultimatum over lingering insecurity in the country. Soyinka, who was the session's moderator, noted that the president should be impeached because he had breached the contract of democracy. He said that democracy indicates a contract that is why the candidate puts on a manifesto. On the basis of that manifesto, the candidate is either accepted or rejected. He also faulted a situation where Buhari will decide who succeeds him at the end of his tenure. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has suspended the Lagos, Kano, and Ajaokuta train services due to fear of terrorist attacks. Sources in the Ministry of Transportation and the NRC confided in newsmen that the train services will not resume until the security along the Lagos-Kano route and Ajaokuta train station was guaranteed. It was learned that the NRC suspended services at the Ajaokuta station along Warri-Tape Road because of the attack on some passengers by gunmen. It was gathered that the Lagos-Kano train services were suspended because of the high level of insecurity in Niger and Kaduna states, which are the routes of the train heading to Kano from Lagos. The NRC Managing Director, Fide Tokiria, who confirmed the suspension of the train services at the Ajaokuta station and the Lagos-Kano route, stated that the corporation has not stopped train services on Warri-Tape route, but rather said they will not be stopping at the Ajaokuta station. The Nigerian Armed Forces are widening their operations within and outside the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in order to neutralize the recent threat of terrorists to the capital city. Military sources told newsmen that the containment operations, which started as a Guards Brigade operation to defend the capital territory, had been expanded to cover areas in Niger, Nasarawa, and Kogi states. The source, who pleaded anonymity, said the military was still carrying out offensives against the criminals who had established camps from where they attacked military men and government facilities. He also gave assurance that the security of the city was guaranteed and that troops were still combing the forests and other criminal hideouts, even as he added that tremendous success had been recorded so far in the offensive operations, with scores of terrorists killed and several others arrested. The security of the SCT had come under threat from terrorists following 3 successive attacks in and around the capital territory, Abuja. The first was the attack on Kuje Correctional Center, during which they released hundreds of inmates, including 63 high-profile terrorists. Another attack was recorded in Buhari in the FCT when they attacked a Presidential Guards Brigade team, killing some of the soldiers, as well as attack on military checkpoints in the Suma Rock area, close to Abuja border with Niger State, which resulted in more military casualties. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has dismantled 2 laboratories in Lagos and Anambra State where illicit drugs, including crystal methamphetamine, aka Mpurumiri, were produced for local distribution and export. The agency said following the outbreak of crystal methamphetamine abuse in the last quarter of 2021, predominantly in the southeast, and the demand for help from many communities in the region, It deployed assets to find the primary source of manufacturing of the drug in the country. The chairman of NDLA, General Mohammed Bukamarwa, retired during a press conference in Abuja, said efforts in the last 7 months against the cartel behind the scourge led to the arrest of 4 kingpins and a coup. They have, however, added that he is pleased to inform the public after months of painstaking intelligence gathering, diligent tracking, and coordinated offensive action, a breakthrough was recorded on when officers and men of the agency successfully busted 2 methamphetamine manufacturing facilities called meth laboratories. The owners of the 2 illicit meth laboratories were successfully arrested alongside Buka from Abia State, the cook or chemist that produced the drugs for them. Altogether, 258.74 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine and various precursor chemicals used for the production of the toxic drug were recovered. And now to sports. Chioma Onyekwere has won a gold medal for Nigeria in the women's discus throw at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Onyekwere became the gold medal winner after she threw 61.7 meters in her 3rd attempt. England's Jade Lally won the silver medal with a 58.42 meter throw, while Nigerians Obiageri Amechi claimed the bronze medal with a 56.99 meter throw. In the women's weightlifting, Nigeria's Mary Osijo also claimed a bronze medal in the 87 kilogram category. She lifted 102 kilograms in the snatch and 123 in the clean and jerk for a combined weight of 225 kilograms to increase the nation's medal tally in Birmingham. And on the foreign scene, Russia has accused the United States of direct involvement in the Ukraine war as the first ship carrying Ukrainian grain to world markets since Moscow's invasion continued its passage to Lebanon without problems. Moscow said it was responding to comments by Vadim Skibitsky, Ukraine's deputy head of military intelligence, about the way Kyiv used US-supplied long-range HIMARS rocket launch system based on what he called excellent satellite imagery and real-time information. Skibitsky told newsmen that there was consultation between US and Ukrainian intelligence officials before attacks, and that Washington had an effective veto on intended targets, though he said US officials were not providing direct targeting information. Russia's defense ministry, headed by a close ally of President Vladimir Putin, said the interview showed that Washington was directly involved, despite repeated assertions that it was limiting its role in the conflict to arms supplies because it did not want a direct confrontation with Moscow. There was no immediate reaction to the defense ministry's allegations from the White House or Pentagon. And that ends the midday news on OSBC TV. Please join us at 3 for the state news. Good afternoon.
Ẹ káàsán, ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí Kamil Abdulrahim lóníròyìn yín. Ààrẹ tẹ́lẹ̀ rí lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí olóyè Olúṣẹ́gun Ọbásanjọ́ ti fẹ̀dùn ọkàn rẹ̀ hàn nípa bí dísù ṣe gbówó lórí tó sì sọ pé ọ̀wọ́n gógó epo náà ti ń ṣàkóbá fún okòwò ọ̀sìn ẹja òun. Nílégbèé rẹ̀ lábẹ́òkúta ló ti sọ̀rọ̀ yìí di mímọ̀ lásìkò ìpàdé ẹgbẹ́ àwọn ọlọ́sìn ẹja lápá ìwọ̀ oòrùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ yìí. Ó ṣàlàyé pé pẹ̀lú bówó dísù ṣe gbẹnu sókè àfàìmọ̀ kí àwọn olókoòwò ọ̀sìn ẹja kí wọ́n mọ̀ padà lọ sílé kí okòwò ọ̀hún kó mọ̀ padà di àkúrẹ̀tẹ̀. Ó fi kún pé jálá dísù kan tí wọ́n ń tà ní Náírà tí ọ̀sìn ẹja kìlógíráàmù kan sì jẹ́ Náírà tó sì jẹ́ pé bí ọlọ́sìn ẹja kò bá fẹ́ náwó sígbó àtù lórí okòwò náà kó lè ta kílò kan ju Náírà lọ. Àwọn onímọ̀ nípa ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ti ṣàpèjúwe ìpinnu ẹgbẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́ fásitì lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí pẹ̀lú ṣíṣe àfikún ìyanṣẹ́lódì tí wọ́n gùn lé gẹ́gẹ́ bí èyí tó léwu fún ọjọ́ iwájú ètò ẹ̀kọ́ orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà, pàápàá jùlọ lórí ìhà kòkànmí tíjọba àpapọ̀ kọ sí ẹ̀ka náà. Lásìkò ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ wọn pẹ̀lú kọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ yìí ni wọ́n sọ pé ewu ń bẹ lóko lóńgẹ́ bíjọba àpapọ̀ bá fi kùnà láti tètè gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó yẹ lọ́nà àti fòpin sí ìyanṣẹ́lódì tí ẹgbẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́ fásitì ilẹ̀ yìí gùn lé. Ọlúchi Àmùdá lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ìròyìn àtúpalẹ̀ ohun tó ń bọ̀ rẹ̀ látẹnu Olúwarántí Ọ̀jẹ́wùmí.
Nígbà tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ tí wọ́n jẹ́ olùkọ́ fásitì nílẹ̀ yìí kéde ìpinnu wíwoṣẹ́ níran oníkìlọ̀ láti fi béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wọn lọ́dọ̀ ìjọba àpapọ̀ pé kó sí kàdéhùn lórí àwọn tí wọ́n jọ fẹnu kò lé lórí láti ọdún 2009 lóṣù kejì ọdún yìí, kò sẹ́ni tó ní lérò pé ìyanṣẹ́lódì náà lè di ọlọ́jọ́ gbọrọ. Ní báyìí ó ti lé lóṣù 5 tí fàǹfà láàrin ẹgbẹ́ olùkọ́ fásitì àtijọba àpapọ̀ ti ń wáyé tí ó sì tíì sí ìdánilójú pé ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún yóò rodò rèé mu mi. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n sì tó ti fi bíi ọ̀sẹ̀ 4 kún ìyanṣẹ́lódì náà. Nígbà tí ń fèsì lórí ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀hún, akọ̀wé àgbà tó ti fẹ̀yìntì lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ ọba ọ̀gbẹ́ni Kọ́lá Buhari ṣàpèjúwe fàǹfà tó ń wáyé lẹ́ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ bí ohun tó tini lójú ju olè lọ. Oníjọba àpapọ̀ àtẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ fásitì tí wọ́n jẹ́ olùkọ́ yẹ kí wọ́n forí okòó sọ̀ọ́dún kí wọ́n yé ba ọjọ́ ọ̀la orílẹ̀-èdè jẹ́.
Ó ti tètè láti pẹpẹ yẹn kó dìde kiri kó pé àwọn aṣíwájú àwọn university lecturers yẹn pé òótọ́ ogun tẹ̀ ń béèrè yìí o ẹ nílò ẹ̀ ó sì pọn dandan pé ká fún yín, ṣùgbọ́n àsìkò tá a wà ẹ̀ nǹkan báyìí òun bá báyìí là á ní lọ́wọ́ náà ẹ̀já ò bá ṣe àtúntò àwọn kan tá a nílò yẹn káwò ìwúlá ọkọ̀ gbogbo ń bẹ̀ nígbà tó jẹ́ pé ní owó wa nìkan kò tó ní wọ́n máa sábà fi ṣáájú sójú ìjọba náà máa wò pé owó làwọn ilé ń wá ó yẹ mú ti tó gbogbo tí wọ́n nílò èròjà tó fi kọ́ àwọn ọmọ àwọn ilé tí wọ́n ń lò ṣó tó ní àbí òtó.
Nínú ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀, olùkọ́ kan ní fásitì ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ọ̀gbẹ́ni Benjamin Adébísí lọ́ọ̀dì fàǹfà tí ń wáyé láàrin ẹgbẹ́ òṣìṣẹ́ tí wọ́n jẹ́ olùkọ́ fásitì àtijọba àpapọ̀ mọ́ ìwà ìmọ̀tara ẹni nìkan tí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kò sì jẹ wọ́n lógún. Ó ní àwọn àríjẹ nídìí mọ̀dàrú kan ti rí fàǹfà náà bí àǹfààní fún wọn tẹ́yìn sì léwu fún ọjọ́ ọ̀la àwọn ọ̀dọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí.
Màá sọ ti ìmọ̀ tara ẹni nìkan tó jẹyọ láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ ìjọba tí wọ́n ní ìwé gíga tó jẹ́ private universities. Nígbà tí union ti wà ní tó ti yanṣẹ́lódì, ó dájú pé ọ̀pọ̀ nínú àwọn ọmọ yìí wọ́n á máa lọ sínú àwọn ilé ìwé yunifásitì aládàáni and invariably owó ń wọ àpò àwọn tó ní yunifásitì tó jẹ́ pé private university.
A rántí pé lọ́jọ́ 14 oṣù kejì ọdún yìí lẹ́gbẹ́ olùkọ́ ní fásitì kéde ìyanṣẹ́lódì lórí bíjọba kò ṣe ṣàmúṣe àwọn ohun tí wọ́n jọ fẹnu kò lé lórí. Lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n rí pé ìjọba fi gbígbọ́ ṣaláìgbọ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà ló mú kí wọ́n tún ṣàfikún ọjọ́ tí wọn yóò fi wòṣẹ́ níran ní gbogbo ilé ẹ̀kọ́ fásitì tó wà yíká orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Olúyẹmí Àgbétáwọ̀ ló jábọ̀ ròyìn.
Mínísítà fọ́rọ̀ àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àti ìgbanisíṣẹ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí Sẹ́nẹ́tọ̀ Chris Ngige ti ṣàlàyé ohun tó mú kí iléeṣẹ́ tó ń darí fínúfíndọ̀ láti yanjú aáwọ̀ láàrin ẹgbẹ́ àwọn olùkọ́ fásitì lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ju gbígba ilé ẹjọ́ lọ kí wọ́n má bàa pẹ́ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ náà kó má bàa di èyí tí wọ́n mọ̀ gbà bí ẹni gbàgbọ́ ọtí. nígbà tó ń dáhùn ìbéèrè àwọn oníròyìn níbi ìdánilẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kan tó jẹ́ tàwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tó wáyé nílùú Àbújá. Oníṣẹ́ lòun ò bá gbé ọ̀rọ̀ náà gba ilé ẹjọ́ tó jẹ́ ti tàwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lọ, ṣùgbọ́n ó ní òun mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ sí ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀hún ní ìtúnbínúbíni. Ó ní lọ́jọ́ 14 oṣù kejì làwọn olùkọ́ fásitì lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìyanṣẹ́lódì táwọn sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjíròrò lọ́jọ́ 22 oṣù kejì yìí kan náà. Ìkan òǹkọ̀wé nílẹ̀ yìí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wọlé Ṣóyínká ti kín gbèdéke ọ̀sẹ̀ 6 tí àwọn ọmọ ilé aṣòfin àgbà kan fún ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari lẹ́yìn tí pé kó fi wójútùú sí ìpèníjà ètò ààbò ilẹ̀ yìí tàbí kí wọ́n yẹ̀gà mọ́ nídìí. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Ṣóyínká sọ yìí di mímọ̀ ní Abẹ́òkúta ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn lásìkò ìfikùnlukùn tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ láti fi sàmì 50 ọdún Abẹ́òkúta Club. Ìròyìn fi hàn pé àwọn ọmọ ilé aṣòfin àgbà àti àwọn ọmọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojúṣòfin tí wọ́n dìbò yàn láti inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party ti fún ààrẹ Buhari ní gbèdéke láti wójútùú sí ìpèníjà ètò ààbò lọ́sẹ̀ tó kọjá. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Ṣóyínká ẹni tó wà níbi ìpàdé náà gẹ́gẹ́ bí atọ́kùn ṣàlàyé pé ó yẹ kí wọ́n yẹ̀gà mọ́ ààrẹ Muhammadu Buhari nídìí nítorí pé ó ti yẹ àdéhùn tó bá àwọn aráàlú ṣe nípa ìjọba tiwantiwa. Ó fi kún pé àdéhùn ní ìjọba tiwantiwa jẹ́ fáwọn aráàlú nítorí gbogbo ohun tó sọ fún àwọn èèyàn lákòókò ìpolongo ìbò ni kò padà múṣẹ. Iléeṣẹ́ ológun orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti sán tòbí wọn tí wọ́n sì ti jẹ́ kétò ààbò rinlẹ̀ sí ní olúùlú ilẹ̀ yìí àti agbègbè rẹ̀ lọ́nà àti pinwọ́ ìhàlẹ̀ ikọ̀ àwọn onísùmọ̀mí tí wọ́n ń lérí lẹ́ka pé àwọn yóò kọlu olúùlú ilẹ̀ yìí Àbújá. Iléeṣẹ́ ológun sọ fún oníròyìn pé ọwọ́jà iṣẹ́ àwọn ti dé ìpínlẹ̀ Niger, Nasarawa àti Kogi. Bákan náà ló sọ ìdánilójú pé àwọn ológun ti bọ́ sáwọn igbó ọba àtàwọn igbó míì láti lọ lé àwọn onísùmọ̀mí náà jáde pẹ̀lú àlàyé pé àṣeyọrí tí ń wà níbi tí wọ́n ti dẹ́mi àwọn kan légbodò tí wọ́n sì fi kélé òfin gbé àwọn kan. Àjọ tó ń gbógun ti ìlòkulò oògùn olóró lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ti ba ibùdó àyẹ̀wò oògùn olóró méjì jẹ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àti Anambra níbi tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe àwọn oògùn olóró jáde. Àjọ náà fìdí èyí múlẹ̀ látàrí àṣìlò oògùn kan tí wọ́n pè ní crystal methamphetamine tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọdún tó kọjá pàápàá jùlọ lápá ìlà oòrùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ yìí. Tájọ náà sì béèrè fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn lẹ́kùn náà lọ́nà àti mọ iléeṣẹ́ tó ń pèsè àwọn ayédèrú oògùn lágbègbè wọn. Alága àjọ NDLEA lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí ajagunfẹ̀yìntì Muhammad Marwa ló sọ èyí di mímọ̀ níbi ìpàdé oníròyìn tó wáyé l'Àbújá. Ó ṣàlàyé pé akitiyan àjọ náà ni láti wójútùú sí ọ̀kan-ò-jọ̀kan bí oògùn olóró ti di yẹ́rìyẹ́ ní orílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà àtọ̀nà láti fòpin sí àwọn ayédèrú oògùn tí èyí ṣokùnfà bá àjọ náà ṣe fi kélé òfin gbé èèyàn 4 tí wọ́n sì tún mú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n ti jingiri nínú ìwà láabi náà. Ọ̀kan lára àwọn tó ń sojú orílẹ̀-èdè yìí níbi ìdíje Commonwealth tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní Birmingham, Chioma Onyenwere ti gba àmì ẹ̀yẹ góòlù lágbọn àwọn tí wọ́n ju ìdíje discus. Onyekere tó jẹ́ ẹni àkọ́kọ́ tí yóò ju discus mítà 61 ó lé belenja nígbà kẹta rẹ̀. Ọmọ orílẹ̀-èdè England Jadlali ló ṣe ipò kejì pẹ̀lú mítà 62 ó lé díẹ̀. Bákan náà lágbọn àwọn tó ń gbé ìwọ̀n Mary Osijo gba àmì ẹ̀yẹ bàbà níbi ìwọ̀n 17 kìlógíráàmù pẹ̀lú bó ṣe gbé àpapọ̀ ìwọ̀n 205 kìlógíráàmù, èyí tó jẹ́ kí àpapọ̀ àmì ẹ̀yẹ torílẹ̀-èdè yìí ti ní kó sì pọ̀ sí ní Birmingham. Nílẹ̀ òkèrè, orílẹ̀-èdè Russia ti fẹ̀sùn kan ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà pé ó ń lọ́wọ́ nínú ogun tó ń wáyé ní Ukraine níbi ọkọ̀ ojú omi àkọ́kọ́ tó kọ́ gbé oúnjẹ oníhóró láti Ukraine lọ sí ọjà àgbáyé ṣe ti ń lọ sí Lebanon láìsí ìdíwọ́ kankan látọ̀dọ̀ Russia. orílẹ̀-èdè Russia sọ pé òun fèsì sọ̀rọ̀ tí igbákejì olórí ikọ̀ ọ̀tẹlẹ̀múyẹ́ ní Ukraine Vladimir Sipsky sọ nípa bí wọ́n ṣe ṣàmúlò ohun ìjà ogun ní ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà. Sipsky sọ fáwọn oníròyìn pé àjọsọ wà láàrin ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà àti Ukraine kó tó di pé wọ́n lo ohun ìjà náà láti fi ṣe ìkọlù, bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn aláṣẹ ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà kò ní ìmọ̀ kíkún nípa ìkọlù náà. Iléeṣẹ́ ààbò ní Russia sọ nínú ìfọ̀rọ̀wánilẹ́nuwò kan pé orílẹ̀-èdè Amẹ́ríkà mọ̀ nípa ìkọlù náà, ṣùgbọ́n tó kàn ń dìbọn lásán ni pé ṣe ló ń fàwọn nǹkan ìjà ṣọwọ́ sí Ukraine. Ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí wa fún ti tàkókò yìí kò jù báyìí lọ. Olúwarántí Ọ̀jẹ́wùmí lólóòtú ẹ pàdé wa láago 3:15 nígbà táwọn mú ìròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun wá fún yín. Títí ìgbà náà ẹ kú jí lọ́nà.